y'all. I'm Marion.
And I'm Monique.
Welcome to the Scared But Ready podcast. We're a mother and son podcast where we talk about mental health and anything else that interests us.
So, yes, and welcome. So one of the things that Marion and I had in common was the name, Scared But Ready. So, Marion, I want you to share a little bit about why you agreed to that name, because I actually brought it to his attention. So, basically, why did you agree to that name? And then I'll explain why I agreed to it why I came up with it.
Right. So, my mom basically came to me with the idea to begin the podcast in the first place. And she pitched it to me as an idea like a mother-son podcast would be a niche topic that isn't really flooding the market right now, so we would have a larger audience to appeal to. And she came to me with the idea of it being Scared But Ready, because we were supposed to be talking about our mental health and our mental health state and getting everything out that we needed to. And it resonated with me personally because I'm not comfortable with talking about myself. So I would like to use this platform first to try to better our relationship, and if possible to talk through some certain things that I have feeling inside that I can't really convey as comfortably as I want to. And all of that is a pretty, not exactly intimidating process, but it's more like something that I'm not comfortable with doing on a daily basis. So I think that's really why the title Scared But Ready really resonated with me.
And the reason why I came up with that title is because a friend of mine, we were speaking, and he actually introduced me to this topic, and he's the one that told me that it'll be a good idea for Marion and I to do this because of Marion being the person suffering with mental illness and me being the mother, and him knowing that I have a little bit of issues myself that I'm also going to talk about. And he basically asked what were my feelings, and that was my feeling. And I think a lot of that is similar to what Marion just said. I was kind of raised where when you have things going on in the family, it stays within the family. And to actually now put a piece of our personal life and something very near and dear to us, out to everybody, it definitely, it's scary. It's scary, but I also know that if we don't do it, for one, Marion's not gonna grow. And this is why we're doing this, because I want my son to grow. And then I want families to start bonding again. It's very hard when you have a child suffering from mental illness, and just being able to have these talks with them, and to kind of like get into their head and see what's going on. And I'm just so happy that Marion is now at a stage where he's opening up. But we definitely are going to be touching on, some of our topics is going to be, years ago when he was closed and didn't want to talk to me, or maybe not talk to his father. But it's time. It's definitely time. And that title, Scared But Ready, resonated with me because of that. I'm nervous putting my business out in the street. But I also know if our mouths remain closed, we're not helping ourselves, and we're not helping people. And this is basically what Monique Healing's Lounge was built on. It's the foundation of helping people. So it was cool when I brought it to Marion's attention, and he was like, and I was like, so that's where we came up with that. You have anything else you want to add? So the other thing we want to basically talk about is what the purpose of the podcast is. We want to make sure that we're identifying with the population. We want to make sure that everything that we're saying, it's basically what you guys want to hear. And some of it might be what you don't want to hear, but it's what Marion has gone through, what we've gone through. But we're going to share it. We want to share it. Marion, do you want to tell them a little bit about the purpose?
Yeah. So more or less my job is trying to unpick and go through basically my entire journey with dealing with whatever it is, mental health that I was going through and still currently going through. Because at this present stage, I don't feel 100% comfortable with trying to help other people if I can't really help myself. So this is more or less going to be my platform to try to unravel and figure out and think things out and talk things out. Later on in the stage of the game, I feel that it would be more beneficial to speak about topics that I'm going through at the moment. So, but whether it being like the first stage, acceptance, and we speak about that, and then as I'm going through a different change of pace, we start speaking about that. But all of this is to say that we're also going to be targeting a young adult audience, and anyone else that's also struggling with mental health at whatever stage in their life.
Yeah, so a lot of the work that we want to put in is dealing with families, dealing with mothers who struggle, because I know it's a lot of nights my son don't even know how I looked in on him to make sure he was breathing, and this wasn't supposed to happen.
It's fine. This is what it's for.
I can't do it. Golly.
This is what it's for. You're talking to me.
Because I've had these conversations with my son before, and I don't want to be selfish, but I don't want him to hurt himself and take his life, and because I don't know what's going on in his head, but only a mother would know what that feels like. Not saying that a father won't, but it's something different with us. So that's kind of the purpose of the podcast. I want Marion to reach those young adults where they're struggling, right? And we're at a point now where we can sit down and have a conversation, and we want to help y'all get to that too, because I know a lot of what I had to say to Marion helped him, right? And I know that having these conversations will help you also come up with ways to talk to your child. I mean, we've had a bumpy road, but what family hasn't? But we are making progress and doing better, and we have a lot more to go, and that's another reason why we're doing this, because I want to rebuild the relationship that I have with Marion. There's some things I'm going to share with him that he probably didn't know either. So this platform is going to be geared to families, to mothers, yes, to children, but namely to sons, Black sons, that just making it okay to talk to people that you love about what you're going through. So that's kind of the purpose of the podcast. Anything else you want to share?
No.
So some of the things that we're going to be talking about is like Marion's personal struggles with mental illness, my struggles as a mother and also as Monique, some of what Marion has gained through this process. The good thing about it is, mental illness in itself is hard, as a lot of us know and understand. But the good thing about it is Marion was able to find something positive in his experience. And it's so important that we try to do that, and that's in life, period, when, things are negative right now, and it's like, can you find the little bit of positivity in it, the little thing that might give you some hope, to live another day. And we're going to discuss some of what he's gained and his journey through all of this. And I think he had a lot to offer to y'all, to help y'all and to help himself. Because you'll be surprised when you talk about it, you just releasing it out of your chest, out of your mind. And he's going to see that. What other topics we going to be talking
about? I think communication as a whole, because I'm more of a person that would like to keep to myself and go through whatever struggle it is, whether it be like homework, like a project or something, a personal project, like, and literally anything. I stick to myself, and because I normally find that I don't need help. I like to tackle objectives by myself, because I find that when I bring other opinions into the mix, I start to get like confused in myself, and I start to lose exactly what my true purpose is, or I start to lose parts of myself when I have other opinions in the mix. So I believe communication as a whole is going to be a huge topic, overarching topic.
That's a good one. So as we wrap it up, what we're going to try to do is make each episode a continuous episode from an episode that we left off with our last episode. I'm not sure if it's going to go that way, but that's kind of the vision that we have. So with that said, Marion, explain to them why you agreed to do this podcast.
I spoke a little bit about it in the beginning, and more of it is going to be geared towards just unraveling everything that has to do with the journey that I've been through, because there are times where I try to compare myself to others, and in that internally it doesn't feel like a mental illness. Like, it doesn't feel like the picture perfect definition of mental illness. Like, the main reason I believe I was drawn to the topic, or drawn to the title Scared But Ready, is because of how I felt about the podcast. I felt that although I've been dealing with this problem for many years, I have a new outlook, because I wasn't exactly ready to change my full lifestyle at the time, because I wasn't aware that my lifestyle as a whole is a large contributing factor as to why I think and act how I do. So I believe this new stage in my life is going to be a part of opening up and speaking about everything that I can through this podcast, and just having one set place where I can just talk. That's pretty much why I began the podcast.
All right, so I think with that we can wrap it up, and we will see you guys at the next what is it called? I guess episode 2, and that's it.
Peace.
Cut. Bye.